Bobby Moore and Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. I'm proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is more than just a podcast. Season 12, episode 35. You've heard the dulcet tones of John. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at home speaking to yous.
No son. He's still, I assume, on Bonnie duty.
Yeah, he's still elbow deep in nappies and
baby shit,
baby stuff.
Yeah. We've all been there. Len, where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm in the lounge doing a podcast with you. Trying to have an easy week.
And finally, Chef Man, where are you? What are you doing? Is he gone?
What?
It's great radio, this.
What's that?
Where are you? What are you doing?
Oh, me. Oh, sorry, I was reading something. Someone sent me a text. I'm in my shed.
Great radio, this. We're here to talk about...
Good job behind radio, Lynn.
Yeah, radio. Do a lot of work for charity. We're here, the four of us, to talk about
Radio Jackie.
Our latest defeat against the mighty Spurs. Go on, we'll make a little change, because I usually come to you last, but you get the So, Nigel, did you go?
I watched it.
Oh, you did watch it? Good.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to away games anymore? You used to go to a lot.
I used to go, yeah.
But not lately.
There's reasons.
All right.
Got my reasons.
Okay.
And I don't want to share them publicly, so,
All right. Don't bring a downer on the whole thing, right?
You
Well,
asked
ain't
the
going to
fucking
fucking
question,
get much
are you?
better, is it? Let's be honest, after fucking yesterday.
Go on. Anyway.
It's gonna
Jesus,
be
it's going to be a great podcast.
Well, look,
Tottenham, the dirty Spurs.
I was watching it with Spurs fans.
Oh,
And
what?
yes, and to be honest, that's the most gutless, spineless performance by a West Ham team I've seen play against Tottenham. My West Ham v Tottenham memories go back to 1977.
Yeah.
I'd never seen. How do you describe the fact that no fight, no bite, no nothing, no? It sort of actually, I'm not turning or whatever, but if ever a performance in a way mirror imaged the manager of a club, I think it was that one.
Are you turning your view then?
Well, it's not turning with you. It's sort of been changing, and I don't go for. I won't sit there and go, "Oh, we got to sack him" or whatever.
I will.
But yeah, but it gets to a point, and this is where I am with it. A lot of managers, and in the past, the likes of Lyle, he would change things. Yeah, and I know it's a long time. Harry would change things. He'd even put a central defender up front and bang it in the box the last 10 minutes. Because they all did that, yeah. But what do we get from him? And perhaps the frustration is starting to leak out from the players. 8 defensive-minded players, and you can't put it any other way. So you're sitting there and you're thinking, that leaves 2 forward-thinking players in Antonio and Bowen. And they've come in for a lot of stick. But Antonio's feeding off scraps. He's got Bowen to help him. And, if we look at the game, our best chance was after 35 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Realistically, attacking attempt-wise, Bowen I know had another one saved where he was out wide and Fraser Foster saved it with his legs. I mean, he's a keeper who's a bit short on confidence, and goalkeeping is a confidence thing. Hadn't had a clean sheet since he came back into the team. Well, he's all confident now, isn't he? Because we hardly made him work. But were we ever going to make him work? And where for me, actually, I can look at that performance and go, oh, here we go. Perhaps I shouldn't have listened to him after the game. Because he's a man who tells you what we've all witnessed, what the problems are. Sometimes I can accept people that fail to acknowledge the problems. But he knows what the problems are. We're not scoring goals. But his answer to that is to play ultra defensive. So that's almost like, and then try and nick something. So he wants a 0-0, and then if we can nick a 1-0, he's happy.
Can I read you his quote after the game?
Well, yeah, go on. I watched various quotes of
We
this.
we didn't defend well enough on a couple of occasions. We gave them too much encouragement at the start of the second half. Played 3 or 4 balls back to the goalkeeper just after kick-off. We had a bit of control, but we played it square and back, which let Spurs come on. And then he said, we got caught on the ball twice in that opening. It felt like a 10-minute period at the start of the game. I think we just gave them encouragement to come on to us, and we didn't get over it. Ultimately, we made a couple of really poor mistakes for goals, which we can't afford. So he's concentrating not on the lack of goals, but the defensive errors.
Yeah.
Post-match.
Well, the strangest question come from whoever asked the questions for West Ham TV, and I get it. It's in-house. You can't be hard on him, and you can't be, you can't stick the knife in on him. But to ask him a question about the goals we conceded and preface it with, we don't normally concede goals like that under you. Oh, I'm afraid I think you're wrong, actually. So I don't know what West Ham team, Mr. Media Man, whoever you are asking the questions watching.
You know
that
who
is
asked the questions.
The type of games that, well, at least one of them was happy then, weren't they, watching Spurs win? So I'll just leave that there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, he's blocked me. What do I fucking care?
Yeah.
Who's blocked you?
Well, it's old dickhead, isn't it, asking the questions?
Oh, you'd have to fucking...
Let's not get personal.
Yeah. Well,
him.
anyway, so even Moyes was embarrassed to answer that question. And you think if ever something summed up a shit show, it would be that. The whole structure of the club seems to have capitulated.
Yeah.
And we're stuck in this limbo. And without jumping ahead, if you're going to get rid of him, do it now.
We're going to come to that later, just to make.
I know, but if
listen.
not, it's just like a death by 1,000 cuts.
I agree with you. I've spent the last sort of hour speaking to about 4 or 5 sources, so I get the most accurate information on the manager. But we're going to do that after we reviewed the game. Maybe we can just do a stat take and come on to John. Obviously, they won 2 goals, and I say that so I can quickly go to the possession stats. Tottenham at home had 57%. We had 43%. They had 16 shots, 6 on target. We had 6 shots, 1 on target.
We had 6 shots.
6 shots. Yeah, one of them was Bowen in the first 20
from.
seconds. But I'll tell you a story, a quick story before I come to you, John. Did I say John or Len? Who am I going to first? I can't remember.
You've said both.
I ain't got much to say, to be honest.
All right. We'll come to you first, Len. I had I go with the Murphys to the game, and we have a WhatsApp group for that everybody goes to the game. And Mark Murphy, the tall one, says to me, or all of us, well, let's have, it's going to be a boring game, so let's have a sweepstake on the first shot on target. Now, remember, it's his bet. We all put a fiver in. He goes, remember, this is his game, 61. Right? So his wife, Carmel, goes 15. His son George goes 2. Oh, nearly got it with Bowen. I went 35. Finley goes 36. And the bugger wins. I mean, it almost was a null and void bet. No shot, one shot on target on the. By the way, I know this on the 57th minute. That's how he won because I was watching. That was the one thing I was following. Shots on target. Len, where did it all go wrong?
Well, it's a great question, really. I mean, where did it all go wrong?
How far do you want to go back?
Yeah.
No, just on this game, please.
Okay, we're a team now that doesn't try and score.
Yeah.
And that's only sweetened in the fact that, we get 60,000 people in a former athletic stadium to now watch a team don't try and score. So at what point do we not become a football club? Because that's how I feel about the club at the moment. You're watching them, it doesn't even look like a West Ham team against Tottenham. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I've never seen us not try to score. And we've had 2 London derbies against 2 out-of-form teams that are generally better than us. So we need the points. You get your opportunity to do it. And neither time have we really threatened. Dodgy defences.
Let's talk with the setup. You say in defence, obviously, he started with Antonio despite having Ings and Skamaka on the bench. He starts with Downs, which a lot of people were calling for. He starts with Emerson. He starts with Souček, not everyone's cup of tea. He starts with Soufal.
Yeah.
Aguerd passes fitness test. He starts. O'Bonnell's in the middle because we've got no one else. Kira's back. Fabianski, even though Areola's back, Fabianski in goal again.
It's a squad that's been brainwashed into not shooting, though, isn't it? And just
so
defending.
How would you have changed it?
Well, I've changed fucking manager. It's the only fucking option we got left. That is literally the only option we got left. Because when we went into the game, I asked you what you all thought of this team and this formation, thinking to myself, well, remembering back when Allardyce put 10 men behind the ball and played a false 9, we won 3-0. So what I was thinking of, well, if you're going to defend, at least go all out defend, try and frustrate them, and all attack as a big unit. No, nothing. Look, and that's what makes the geezer worse than
I'm not
going
to defend him. I've run out of excuses for him. I really
have. I don't know how we're doing this week in, week out. I don't know how we're talking about a game. There is no game there. There is no game.
I have to agree. He's devoid of ideas. He seems to be a stubborn that he won't, I know.
He's guessing now, isn't he?
Barry Siltman has written today and sort of said, well, it's quite easy, right? All of the clubs in trouble are doing one up front. It's not working. So bung 2 up front. Do something different. And that will save you. But he won't listen to that.
Or Phil, if you're going to play Antonio up top, or if you're going to play one up top at the own, the 3 behind him have got to be, and I'm not a Ben Rama fanboy, but you've got to have the likes of Ben Rama, Lanzini, Fornals, Bowen, or something that are there to support him.
Yeah.
If you can't defend,
I agree.
With 6 players,
why would 8 make any difference?
Exactly.
This is what I don't understand. Look at the Newcastle game. You see Aguerd do a tackle like that, and then in the other game you see Declan Rice just cut the game out in the middle of the pitch. So why are you flooding the defence? I mean, we've defended well against Newcastle, Aguerd, when the players clear through. There's no one behind the ball, and he still managed a miraculous tackle. So why are you playing so many people behind the ball? We're not gonna score, and if we don't score, we don't get the points, and we get relegated.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to defend him. I hear all kind of whispers today of him not losing the dressing room, but individuals upset.
You can see
Antonio, Ben Rama, Fornals,
Noble supports Spurs
Souček,
now.
Soufal, and Areola, of course. They're all getting a bit frustrated with him, and who can blame them, really?
No.
Let's move on to John.
Please.
John,
Yes.
Too little, too late. He bought Ings and Benny on 72. It was all over by then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what is Ings' status, Sean? Is he fit, match fit?
Yeah, he's supposed to be match fit. Yeah,
So
he's training.
why, when you buy a striker,
Because he loves
who's-
Antonio.
yeah,
Because he wants to play
that's
one up
another
front.
failing, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you buy he's a proven in the Premier League goal scorer. Antonio is a converted winger who hasn't scored in 13 games or something.
Yeah.
Yet you still start with one striker and you play your converted winger, and you know you get. Unfortunately, all of this is they get what they deserve, and we have to put up with it.
I just wanted him desperately prove all of you wrong, and me, and you know us win against Spurs, and everyone go, "Oh, what was that all worried?" But it was toothless, and I found it really difficult when it got to 2-0. I didn't want to watch. I really didn't. I just thought, this is just, and the grief I'm going to get from Spurs fans. And they celebrated it like it was their bloody cup final with smoke flares and everything, singing West Ham get battered everywhere we go. And do you know what?
Sean, we don't do that, do we?
Sean,
Yeah, I know we
this
do.
is the
Listen,
thing,
let
people
me
like
finish.
you go
Let me
round
finish.
and go,
Let
look
me
at them
finish.
and look at them, look at them. And
Let
we
me
behave
finish.
exactly the same
That's
way.
what I was about to say. Yet we do it. We go round saying Tottenham get battered everywhere we go. We deserve it. Although we do make a big deal with Tottenham, they always go out their way to say they don't make a big deal about us. But maybe it's a bit of tit for tat. So I was about to finish that.
I don't agree that we make a big deal out of Tottenham. I just think that Tottenham is probably the most disliked team in London.
Yeah.
So it's just everyone dislikes them.
You're fine. Well, a lot of people dislike Chelsea as well, you could say.
Well,
But the thing is, Sean, it is funny because obviously I did watch your video down by the riverside.
Yeah. Do you think I should have worn a smoking jacket then?
No, what I think you should have said is when you've gone, I don't know where this rivalry from Tottenham comes back to. Sean, it was there in the 70s. It was there in the 60s.
I don't remember it.
It was there. I remember as a kid when we was in Division 2, we weren't playing Tottenham, and the fans were singing, "We want Tottenham in the cup," and we actually drew Tottenham in the cup and beat them 1-0. This was in the league.
Dave
cup.
Cross.
Yeah, back post cross chip.
Yeah.
He says he meant it. I don't think he did. But
I get they've always been a
that night,
London
there
derby
was-
and a London
hold up,
rival.
Billy
but not,
Bond's testimonial. They had the mounted police out, and this is 1978, his first one. The mounted police had to come out and baton charge down the concourse because my mum had to pull me out of the way because she couldn't believe it because she was going fighting at a testimonial. What will it come to next? You know,
I don't remember bringing it back to John, who's turn it is now. I don't remember when we went to the South Bank. I don't remember Spurs being our big rivals in the 80s when John and I were on the South Bank terraces. But I will admit I've got a crap memory, and John would probably remember better than me.
No, I don't remember anything.
The 80s were a blur, John.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that Tottenham fans can say we're not there, whatever, and that's their built-in superiority they feel they have. They think that we don't have to worry about little old West Ham. We're in a massive Tottenham now. We're part of the six.
They still
top
haven't won
six
anything.
Elite. Well, that's what makes the whole thing more hilarious.
Where did you watch it, John?
I watched it at home
In your special room.
in my room. Yeah.
Did you persuade George around?
No, George is off the grid at the moment.
All right. On your own then.
Yeah, I watched it on my own. Yeah.
Did you make it to the end?
Yeah.
Well done.
It
was painful watch when after the
just-
second. You knew as soon as Son came on, you knew he was going to score.
It was just a completely uninspiring, toothless performance that just, I 100% agree with what Len and Nigel have both said. It's just, it's just part of this season.
This
You can
race,
accept going down with You know, you can accept. Look, we know they're a better team than us, isn't it? At the end of the day,
Yeah, of course they are.
Player
We're
for
not
player,
blind.
there.
Yeah, but so you expect. I never thought I'd say this. I wish Mark Noble was on the pitch yesterday
Yeah.
because
With
at
or
least he
without
would
his
have.
Tottenham badge.
Well, whatever. At least he would have done. You know, Noble against Spurs ran through brick walls, and he would have. He would have. To be fair, I've watched that video of him doing the rounds, and actually you can see how pissed he off he is at the end and everything when the geezer's laughing at him, whoever the dickhead is.
It's someone Eccleston's
Or Tamar
Tamar
Eccleston.
Eccleston's husband.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Does he want any jewellery back? Oh,
Ooh,
no?
harsh.
Okay.
Right, I mean, I don't understand when we've got the most sought after defensive midfielder probably in European football that
His
he's still
value's plummeting.
still feels
More
the
than-
need to pack the defence, you know.
Yeah, his value is dropping more than it would take to sack a manager to pay a manager off.
Yeah.
I don't know why that doesn't go in his head. All the players' values. Yeah, you must lose. It's losing hundreds of millions collectively, and it would take 5-6 million to sack him now. Maybe
Take care.
7.
I've worked out 5. So if you work out
That's
what
just
his base,
fucking nothing,
his
isn't it?
basic is about 4 million, and he gets about 1 million in bonuses. So if you take it 4, there's 71 weeks left, and then you add on a little bit for his backroom team. They're not paid a fortune, a few $100,000 each per year. I work it out about 5 million payoff. And funny enough, I was
peanuts.
talking to your friend Nick earlier, who was asking me, look, when is Moyes going to get sacked? And I said, well, it's not that easy. And I'm going to go through it in a minute. He said, well, what's the cost of going down? And the cost for going down, by my estimate, is about 50 million per season. And I'll tell you why, right? We're turning over about 220, right? If you get a parachute payment, but you lose about 80 million of TV money, your ticketing half, your shop money halves, your sponsorship halves, right? But so you're going, oh my God, we've got a massive hole, 150 million hole. But actually, then you've got to factor in all your good players leave because 1, you can't afford their wages, and 2, they've got clauses they don't have to stay in the championship.
And they leave for less.
And they leave for less. You're right.
Yeah.
So John, it's a fire sale. You know, no Bowen, no Skamaka, no Paquetá. They ain't going to play in the championship. No Rice, obviously. Rice is the saviour, right? Rice might actually pay for the first season in the championship.
I think you'll be surprised, Sean, because I'll tell you what.
Go on.
This goes back to the Tevez case, yeah. If you look when a team is relegated,
Yeah.
the value of their best player is still devalued by a third or more.
Yeah, it is.
When Sheffield United sued us,
I will.
part of their claim was the fact that because they'd been relegated, they had to sell Phil Jagielka to Everton for less than he would have been worth if they'd stayed up.
Agreed, but I said we only need 50 million a season to plug the hole in the gap. So if you sell Rice for 50 million instead of 100 million,
Sean would be lucky to get 70 million now.
you know, I agree that. But,
yeah, so if we're relegated,
you're
taking 40 to 45.
But you've also got to
lucky.
get Paquetá, Skamaka, Bowen, you know, Agur. Let's be honest, they ain't staying. So you've almost got to get rid of all your good players, start again, right? No, you do. No, let's be blunt.
We ain't got much choice, have we?
This
is a laughable thing about it, Sean.
And then you start again, and it'll cost you 50 million per season. You hope you come up in the first season. We are going to have the most turnover. We're going to have the biggest ground in the
Biggest emptiest ground.
Yeah, well, I'll still be going, but you're right, John. A lot of people won't, and it will be half
Except when you're
empty.
on holiday.
But you know, it is what it is, and maybe we won't come up on the first season. It costs us 100 million. You might laugh at this, but actually we've been never in a better place to be relegated financially because we've paid off all our debts, etc.
I'd beg to differ, Sean.
We are financially, we paid off all the debt. So actually,
Well, I don't think we was in debt when we got relegated in 1978, and it took us 3 years to get
well,
back.
they were different times, though, mate. It wasn't the Premier League at that point.
right.
You can't use that as a.
There's no
in
guarantee we're coming up.
2002-03,
There's
were
no
we in
guarantee.
financial
You're
trouble,
right.
were we?
Money-
I don't think we were.
money
we just
doesn't
had
help,
two of our
but
best seasons.
The parachute payments, together with some rich owners putting some money in, you would hope we do. But look, I don't want us to be relegated.
Oh, I
but
don't know. You laugh about it so much. I don't
I
know.
don't laugh about it, but you know what? I've been there. I've got the T-shirt, and if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to spend my life worrying about whether we get relegated or not. What will happen will happen, right?
But you do laugh about it every time.
don't laugh
Like
about
we had a few words today on the old group, was where you're saying like, I say, well, why you keep laughing about
I
it?
don't laugh about it. Saying we're doomed is not laughing about it. It's
No,
stating the
Sean,
bloody
you
obvious.
know what you're doing. I
I'm
told
not.
you earlier. Well, why are you doing it? You know what you're doing. You're trying to press people's buttons. You're doing it deliberately.
Well, maybe.
You didn't do it in reply to anyone. You just
You always do
offered it
so,
out.
and you're telling us all
David
to
Moyes disaster class.
you're telling everyone to get a grip, get a grip.
All right,
you know,
right.
all
No,
right, hold
hang on. Right, let me just tell you. Those are 4 things. Some of them were from you, right? They were 4 graphics I've been sent after the game. I was pissed off after the game, and I thought, okay, I'll put those graphics up. People had sent me to them in WhatsApp groups. I put 4 up without saying anything else. I put 4 up. Whether that upset anybody, I didn't seem to get
But
any.
you have to realise what it's different for you, and it is different for you.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
such
we're
an
not going.
antagonistic prick, Saul. I'm sorry.
We're
It
gonna
is-
go. We're not going to go into the town. It's different for you because you live in Surrey. Are we?
I'll tell you
it's
why
different
I
for
think.
you because of who you are.
Yeah,
I'm
shall I tell you
afraid
why?
it is.
Shall I tell you why I think it's different for you now, Sean?
Go on.
I think if you track it all back, we used to go to football in the 80s.
Yeah.
You started. We all kind of went back early 2000s or mid 2000s or whatever, season tickets and all that.
Yeah.
You started a Twitter account before West Ham started a Twitter account.
2009. Yeah.
You got hit with a load of followers who thought you were West Ham, and you had this dodgy little thing where you, or
Fuck me,
whatever
they
it
got
was.
shocked.
But you used to repeat all the news, and people signed, and on the back of that we started a podcast.
Yeah.
And then you got some notoriety for those 2 things, and then you started writing, and now you take that side of it so much more than being the fan. You are near enough a neutral news reporter looking at the games, and the reason I reckon the reason you still go constantly is to stay in the relevant part of it all, so you can still do your media stuff.
A lot of the media people that do that don't go to the games, John. So I'm not sure that's true.
But I honestly think you are near on a neutral.
I'm not a neutral. That wounds
reporter
me. That
of the game, because for you to come out with some of the things you come out with, you just can't actually feel the stuff that fans are feeling.
I do feel it, right? I was pissed off after the game, and I'm pissed off after.
No, but even this afternoon,
go on.
Stuff is you're sort of like, get a grip, hold
Do you
on,
know
get
what?
a grip.
There are more important things in life.
There are more important things in life, Sean, but when you're talking on football groups, and when you're talking, that's what you're talking about.
But it's a sort of self-preservation. Everybody, whether it's a bit of football group on Twitter, loves to have a pop at me, and I become ultra defensive, and I feel that I have to. That's
the.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, but that's what you've set yourself up for. You set yourself up as that person.
The fall guy, the
You
student.
sold Hugh Southam, mate.
Yeah, you went that route, and then you bought into the. You loved the contact with the Bradys and the Sun. You loved that access so much that you've sold the real fan and supporter side of yourself.
I disagree.
Away for it.
I disagree. I believe I am still a fan, and I can switch off. And I've said it today. I'm not following the bald rhetoric of saying, he should be given patience and he should be given a chance. I've had enough. I've wanted desperately for him to turn things around.
They don't mean that. They're just talking about all they're after is standing in the Premier League, taking the money and fattening up their fucking cow.
Yeah, they loved it the way it's been for the last 2 years.
They don't care about it. It's not about that. They just want to save the money.
And they're going to see. The thing is, they will suffer financially, but they can hold those financial losses.
Yeah. I've just got on the comments here, and there's a lot of people saying, it's only a game. There's more important things in life. You're damn bloody right. There's more important things in life, but these people should be understanding this. These people that run the club, it's a fucking game. It's not. I know it's a business to a certain level, but it's not a tyranny. It's a fucking game. Yeah. Try and enjoy yourself. The the question, are you enjoying yourself, is just not even used in football. The manager's certainly not enjoying himself. The players aren't enjoying themselves. But Sullivan's not enjoying himself because you know what he's like, and the fans ain't enjoying themselves. So why are we going through this? There is more important things to life. Take a different attitude to football. Throw caution to the wind. Just fucking try and enjoy it. Am I wrong or what?
Yeah,
No,
don't play for safety all the time.
Yeah,
I
but
think
the whole thing since we come up in the Premier League, it's all been about staying it. We'll have the boring manager, we keep him. We get another boring manager. Just stay in the league, and the football should be tolerated. Nothing should be tolerated. This just should be enjoyed. Be a bit light-hearted. Throw caution to the wind. Because the whole
he did that though.
sport is gone.
Harry got us to 6th and 7th. What was by play? He didn't do it playing cautious football. He didn't get us. And I'd argue. People now go, well, he overachieved. I don't know. He didn't overachieve.
Well, he got us there.
He should be achieving. That's peak West Ham. Granted, 6th and 7th is peak West Ham.
Yeah,
but that's only relevant to what the other clubs are doing, though.
No, that's right.
You can be just as happy in 10th and
Oh
11th.
no. And let's face it, everybody, or nearly everybody, was happy with the way. Even last season, the wheels, you could say, in the league. But I always argued that's entirely forgivable for a club like West Ham when you're having a European run that we did.
But he got us to how he got us to be playing counter-attacking football, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was entertaining.
It was working.
It was we were counter-attacking. He was giving up possession, and we were scoring, and we were doing well.
He was playing 6 defensive, more-looking players, not 8.
That's the difference now. The difference now is one way of playing's been found out.
Yeah.
Other managers know how to deal against us,
and he's gone backwards.
And he doesn't seem to have an answer.
Yeah,
and we said at the beginning of all this season, look at the quality of the players that we'd brought in. We all could see the quality, and we said once these players all settle in and he sorts out a way of playing well, we're going to be formidable this season. And he just has failed dismally on that. That's why I was saying before the World Cup, get rid of him now. Look at the quality we had. Let's get someone in with a bit of adventure about him.
And I would still argue you couldn't sack him before the World Cup because it was too soon. It would have been
I think it was a little bit
knee-jerk reaction. But the thing is, when we came back, and then you think, well, he's had 4 or 5 weeks to work with the players that weren't in the World Cup, and let's face it, majority of our players weren't at the World Cup, and nothing changed.
No.
And then he's gone backwards. You know, we've had 1 win in the league since we come back from the World Cup.
Yeah.
So
we've had 4 shots on target in the last 3 games or something.
Yeah. And that's gone because if you look earlier in the season, we were having 20 shots in a game, 7, 8 on target. And now, when the pressure's really mounting, he's regressing backwards. And this is
rubbing
what
up the players, and he's losing the players.
This is what I don't get about him. Any football manager can think that having more defence, playing more defensive, is going to win you a game, and it's not. And perhaps it's summed up in a way that we've beat in the cup, second string Brentford. But I still think you can only beat what's in front of you. It was still a good performance. We beat Derby, who are League One. And who've had their soul ripped out of the club, so they're doing well to rebuild the way they are. And apart from that, I was talking to someone today, and you think I'm surprised a lot of fans ain't going, I wish we lost against Everton.
Yeah.
Because it's the Everton game that's going to get us relegated.
Because
he'd won it.
Because you think, well, if Dyche had come in, and I would have had Dyche. Me and Libbo said they'd have Dyche all day long. There would have been this reaction. And, I don't know. It's easy to look back. It's hard. People can point fingers at me because I've argued for a long time. You can't be sacking him. And you can't knee-jerk. And I don't like knee-jerk, and I won't ever pander to it. And a lot of them are knee-jerkers. But at the end of the day, it comes to something when that is just your only win since October. There comes a point where
Yeah.
you think,
But it's
and
all
it's
the players'
easy to go,
reactions
let's
now,
give
isn't
him
it?
the Forest game. Yes, it's easy to say you give him the Forest game, but then if he loses the Forest game, that's 3 points against the team we should be beating. That's gone down the road, makes it harder for the bloke to come in.
And he gets a
And
draw, then what?
well, and this is the thing. It also, if the ownership, and we're second guessing here because the flannel they're giving Sean.
Hang on a minute. You don't know what I've been through, so
Sean,
I haven't even revealed. I've spoken
Sean,
to 6 people today.
There's what 6 directors? I'm talking about the ownership, not agents or whatever.
I'm talking about other people as well. Until I get
no,
to
I'm
say
not
it,
talking
you won't
about
know.
other people.
You won't know.
I'm talking
You
about
might be
the
surprised.
flannel that you've had today, or for your sauce, yeah, where he comes out with his basic standard
I need
thing.
to tell you the story, and
Hold
I'll
up,
go for it.
Sean, he's never gonna tell you exactly what they're thinking.
No,
because
right.
if they are thinking he's got one more game,
Well, I've got a bit of info on.
they cannot come out. They cannot come out and say it. Yes, real proper journalists may be brief, Sean, but you ain't. Let's be face it. You're not. As Chris Will pointed out, or as I pointed out to Chris Will, you ain't in the NUJ. You can't be prosecuted. Yeah, when old spare Will piped up.
I've spoken to a number of proper journalists today.
Yes, I know, and I've seen what they've said, and
you haven't seen what you said because I've only just come off the phone to them, so you probably won't have seen what.
Oh, so like Gary Jacobs and Jason Burt, then. So,
and I've spoken to others.
Right,
as well.
so I do know the 2 of who you've spoke to, and plus 1 other from at the club. So I've got a good gist of, because I said it before you put it up.
I haven't.
If he loses against Forest, he is gone. They are not going to keep him.
All right, let me tell you what I know.
What do you mean officially, Sean?
Let me tell you
club,
what...
No, let me finish.
All right,
who's going to come out and say, no, hold up. Who's going to come out officially? What official West Ham spokesman's going to come out and go, if he loses, he's sacked?
You've got to know the whole picture, though.
Sean,
right.
That has never happened at any football club. No one's ever officially come out.
Of course. But you've got to understand what's going in the background.
So don't say I don't understand.
Well, you don't understand because
I do
you don't
understand.
know who... You've got to look at the backstory and who else is being approached. And that will tell you where they are with their mindset.
Sean, I don't need to know that. If he loses at Forest, he is fucking sacked. That is what they will do. Tell me I'm wrong.
Right. I don't know if you're wrong. And I'll tell you why I don't know if you're wrong. Officially, right? And you've seen it with Jason Burt, who's got very close contacts with...
No, Jason Burt's not an official of the club, Sean.
All right, no, but you know who he speaks to, right?
Well, I know who you speak to. What did he say?
All right. Jason Burt said...
No, not Jason Burt.
Well, we'll start with Jason Burt, and then I will go on some other stuff. And you'll fit. Jason Burt said he's safe, right? And don't matter what happens, whether he loses, they want to stick by him, and they're seeing green shoots turning it around. All right, so that's the propaganda out the way, right? In the Telegraph, Jason Burt, right? We know who he talks to.
I don't. Who does he talk to?
He talks to Sullivan. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Right. So last night there were rumours going around on KUMD, etc. He's already sacked. All right. So senior source goes, no, not true. He hasn't been sacked. He's not about to be sacked. Right. Which sort of takes us this week, right? You're right, Gary Jacob got his own contacts, also said, according to his sources, and I have spoken to Gary this week, that if he loses against Forest, he'll be sacked, all right? Club are being very, very tight-lipped, not to say one thing or the other, right? But this is where it gets interesting, and it's the bit you don't know. And the bit Stell was jumping at the bit. What I do know is they've been talking to Rafa Benitez, right? And
I thought that was common knowledge. Everyone knew that.
Yeah, but all right. It's been reported, but they've been talking through intermediaries with Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez has turned West Ham down, right? He wants a 3.5-year contract. He also had some concerns. He wasn't interested. They met through agents, etc., as what's happened. So there's no direct. I mean, obviously, you didn't get Sullivan sitting down with Rafa Benitez. It's all done through contracts, intermediaries.
Sean, you nearly joined us once before. They must have each other's phone
I
numbers.
know they do, but you don't do that because if you get caught, you're undermining the manager. So it's done through
That
intermediaries.
you're about to sack anyway, then.
So Rafa Benitez has turned us down, right? They've already said they don't want Bielsa, right?
Who
Through
said that?
Well,
I
the
thought he
senior
didn't
source.
want us.
The senior source. Well, there was a chance to take Bielsa, but they don't want Bielsa because of his English and because he's mad. Allegedly.
Fucking is. All
Right?
Don't
Now,
start me off.
All right. Right?
Who else
So-
is mad then?
So
Yeah.
they did, through intermediaries, I understand now, approach Poch and Tuchel, right? And
They laughed.
they went, no way. Okay?
Well, they might have.
So what I'm being
Up
told,
sort of
not
6
directly from
weeks
the
ago
senior
or 2
source,
months
but
ago.
people really close to senior sources, they're sort of going, we can't get anyone to do a short term. No one wants to do a short term gig. You go, no. If you want us to manage, you put your money where your mouth is and give us a 3-year contract.
Which is fair enough, is it not?
We're not going to do we're not going to do a David Sullivan. I don't need, apparently Rafa Benitez is going, I didn't need to prove myself like David Moyes did with a 6-month contract, only for you to sack me and get someone else in. Right? So I'm being told just this afternoon that, and it's reported on Clarity Hugh, that they don't see any short term to get to the end of the season.
Why
They're
would
gonna
we
have to
want
stick.
short term?
Because they're obviously...
They haven't had to go fucking right once.
just
So
a-
why would they want more time
I
to
tell you,
think
but
about
hold
it?
up. I'll tell you why, Jay. And because at this moment in the season, if you're looking at your next manager of West Ham United, there's a good chance he's already in a job.
Of course.
And there's a good chance he ain't going to walk out of that job.
Yeah.
In
Now you're getting to it.
February or March, but he would probably go in the summer. So that's why they're looking short term.
Yeah, but they're not gonna get relegated and then get Potter, are they?
No, but you've hit the nail on the head. I think they would snap up Potter like a shot.
But would
that could
Potter
happen.
want to come to us?
If he's sacked by Chelsea, but he
He's
ain't going to
sacked.
walk out on Chelsea.
No, he's not going to
Yeah,
walk out on
but if he's
Chelsea.
sacked by Chelsea, would he still want to come to us?
I don't know.
He would walk out
You
with
don't-
millions and millions of pounds compensation.
Maybe he would.
And
Maybe he wants to
maybe-
come in and prove himself.
His contract might be if he gets another job, he doesn't get the compensation.
Usually there's a difference, right? So you're right, Len. If you get in work, you get minus the difference. You're right. It's sometimes not worth. And there's 2 ways of doing this. You either get a payoff, which they pay you 75% of your remaining wages in a lump sum, or like they did with Pellegrini for a while, they carried on paying him his monthly wages, so he was still in contract. But in that case, if they pay you your monthly wages, you're not allowed. If you work with someone else, then they can stop you, right? If you earn more or the same.
You wouldn't have. Let's say, right. I'm pretty sure when he got Pellegrini and he didn't have Moyes, Eddie Howe, we could have got Eddie Howe that was out of work.
Yeah.
And then this time we could have got Sean Dyche who was out of work. So
Yeah.
he lacks
Didn't
the
go-
vision. It's
didn't-
Sullivan that lacks
Yeah,
the
we
vision.
didn't go for Sean Dyche. We had an option to go for Sean Dyche,
And no one would have turned their nose up for 3 years of him.
And I was told we weren't going to go for Sean Dyche even before he was approached for the Everton job. I know we're the only one in the six. Look, it's
Reactive man, Sullivan, I'm
Look,
afraid.
I think, and I was asked this by Nick earlier, and he said, well, you haven't really given me an answer. Let me be honest with you. I don't think there is a target, be sacked, win or be sacked on thing. I don't think there's a points target. I don't think there's a win target. I think just one day, Sullivan and the ball would just go, yep, let's get rid. I just think there's not that much strategy or planning. I just think it will be a knee-jerk reaction. They'll go, no, we've had enough. And they sack him.
Yeah.
I
That's it.
don't think there's any strategy at all. If I'm
That'll
honest.
be after Forest defeat.
That's
It
the
could
saddest.
be. It could be.
The saddest thing of it all is that they can afford it and take it, but it's the fans again that have to go through it.
Yeah. And,
All because of their incompetence and their inability to do anything correctly.
and you're
When you
not
say
wrong.
they can afford it and the fans don't, at the end of the day, and this is where with relegation don't bother me, It don't affect me financially what division West Ham play in. It don't affect my match attending what division. The opposition, actually, frankly, it's always good. You want to see the best players. If I look back and I think of all the great, fantastic players I've seen play, some world stars, generally they were playing for other teams.
Yeah, but
You know, so
but from the West Ham fan point of view, there will be a percentage of fans that'll be, oh look, I've done it, we've seen it, we've done it, I can do it again. It's not make no odds to me. I'll
Yeah.
get a few more games. I'll go. I mean, and be honest with you, I'll probably come more,
Yeah.
in the chat. But there will also be the fan base that thinks, look, hold on a minute, we've just bought Brazil's centre midfielder, we've just bought Italian
Yeah.
striker. We ain't even had a
all go.
chance to see what they can do yet.
Yeah, they're all
Well,
going.
let's,
yeah.
how can we have the little taste of this and then get it pulled away straight?
Well, because that's and the thing I don't get, and this is where perhaps I do get rolled up with fans, is that's what you get supporting West Ham United. I'm afraid, yeah, that's the type of club we are. And people, negaholic, as I got called the other week, a captain of doom or whatever. That's a fact of life. When Moyes comes out and says about what we said about West Ham fans, I found it hard to disagree with him on that, because he is right. If you was a West Ham fan and you thought that we were going to finish 6th and 7th and then we were going to keep going and keep going, then sadly you were mistaken.
Yeah, but
No
I don't think.
intelligence.
I don't think. Yeah.
Well,
which is-
he stepped over a line there for
What,
me.
same football intelligence?
Yeah, because
and I put my hands up, saying I haven't got any football intelligence.
I've got no
that does
intelligence.
well, we know that, Sean. But
Boom, boom.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't expect us to be chatting, but what I honestly thought was like, hold on a minute, we've just done that. We were faltering at the end of last season because of the lack of signings and lack of players. We've just invested a load of money. We've got some really good players in. We're going to have a decent season again. We're in the European competition. I didn't think for 1 minute we'd be in a relegation battle this season. And
no, nobody does. But when we've got relegated, who thought we were going to be in a relegation battle? When you look at some of the relegation battles we've had, let's take the biggest one recently. Well, not the biggest one recently. In a way, the Carlos Tevez season. We'd just been in the cup final. We had a fantastic season the year before. Who really thought that we were going to go relegation?
but that was our second season back, wasn't it?
John, that's the West Ham way.
Yeah, that was.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But after this little run we've had in the Premier League and this slow build that we've had the last 2 or 3 years, and this massive investment for the first time ever, really, of a real core of decent quality, the real problem has clearly been the manager. He is completely and utterly fucked up.
And
I mean, we
while
all called a little lull, didn't we? We all got realistic with the finishing position, but what we didn't anticipate is the regression of the manager. How he'd go so much in his shell and completely defend. No one, and that is the difference between what we predicted and a relegation fight.
I think he's waiting to be put out of his misery.
Yeah.
It says, he's waiting for the chop to come. And if I get sacked, I get sacked.
Yeah.
I think he's waiting for it, and he can't believe he hasn't been sacked. And going, Jesus, but what have I got to do to get the sack? Anyway,
madly though, and it is in a way madly. I believe this is the second longest top consistent run of seasons in the top flight in West Ham's history.
yeah.
So that plays into the hands though of what Moyes was saying.
Last word, and I tell you, there is one way to get rid of the manager. It won't be pretty, but I know one thing the board are susceptible to, and that is
inside the stadium.
Yeah, you got it. If the crowd turns on the board in the stadium, you'll see them act quite fast.
I told
I'm not condoning that, but
he did a poll
it is.
yesterday about sacking the manager, and I said to him,
Who did?
when people do that, Nick from Claret and Booze, So, he's been Moyes out. To be fair to Nick, he's been Moyes out. He probably went first.
Yeah,
well,
before even Moyes was appointed.
Yeah,
I think it was
out.
4th game in, wasn't it?
But so anyway, so at least he has been consistent. You can't say anything about Nick. He ain't knee jerk. He's been saying what he's been saying for ages. But then after the defeat, he does a poll. Now he does them now and again, to be fair to him. But like, are you Moyes in or Moyes out? And frankly, on Twitter, generally people follow you who like what you do and a fellow, type of thinking. So naturally, a lot of Nick's followers are going to be the Moyes out followers. So having a Twitter poll achieves nothing. And all I said to him was, "You're wasting your time. What do you learn from doing a poll? Nothing. 1,000 people say Moyes out and 100 say Moyes in. The club ain't going to look at that and think,
No.
yeah, I think we'll do. I'll tell you what though, if 2,000 fans stood in the stadium in front of them, fucking harangued them and stood by the gates and harangued them, yes, they would bloody listen. And defeat against Forest, I think could be something. I'm not saying akin to Burnley, because that was, for those that don't know, you would have to know the background. That was so many layers of that, why that happened. So, and not akin to that, but fans in the ground, and this is the one thing I've always said, they're still, even against Spurs, I think the fans, he has actually defeated the fan base. Not even a Moyes out from the fans yet. Like a proper sack the manager, and you're thinking, that's how bad it's got.
Yeah. Anyway.
Perhaps I am to blame, because I've backed him all the way.
Anyway, let's see what happens on...
So just to put a line under it then.
Yeah.
I'm Moyes out. Who else is?
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
God, I am.
Sean?
I am... I can't see any way forward except Moyes out. So it saddens me, but I don't see any way forward. So I have to say Moyes out.
Sadden you? That's
because
football.
I was hoping he could turn it around and we wouldn't have to change a manager again. And
what we need, I think we do actually.
But he's been caught out and he can't adapt. And
right, okay, it's fine. But you got this up to Sullivan to move him on.
Yeah.
We don't expect a player to go on. The whole point of the next level, right, is for Sullivan to have the same mindset as well. He's saying, "No, we need to go next level. We need this," but he's stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do have to keep changing managers to.
Yeah. And everyone else does. And I'd like Potter in. If we haven't heard from Nigel, and then we are going to put a line under it. You got the last word, Nigel.
Well, at the moment, we need new managers just to stand still.
Yeah. Okay.
Not progress.
So we're agreed for once. Moyes out.
How about Redknapp to the end of the season? He'll take the job.
Mate, all day long. My ephany with Moyes was
Harry
actually...
Redknapp?
Hold up, yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's fucking...
Jesus.
So,
Hide the silver.
No, I don't like it either, but if this down to your theory, I'm just putting the name in. It's your theory about who wants to take over in the season.
I know. I know he spoke to Hugh last week and he said he was still ready to help with management, but Jesus Christ.
Do you know what?
I was talking of him at Leeds.
Do a job.
There was. And Hughie interviewed him about Leeds and he went, "No, I haven't been approached, but I am available." Oh, God.
Listen, Warnock's back at Huddersfield, and I'll tell you why. And this is the thing, my epiphany with Moyes came after re-watching the Bradford game the other day and doing a little bit about it and listening. But it was listening to Harry's interview after the game, and it reminded me. And people slag him off over bonds and whatever. And there's two sides to every story, people.
Yeah.
You can't just believe one side. There is another side. But I'll tell you what, Jesus Christ.
Can we tell that story one day?
It was so much fun under Harry. Yeah. It was. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been that fun under Billy. Billy Bonds was not a great manager. He weren't cut out for management. The way they did it was wrong, or the way it sort of fell apart was wrong, to treat him that way. But actually, for the benefit of the club, that was the right move.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll tell the story, the other side, one day. We'll get Harry on. Anyway, with Moyes out. Quick bit of injury news. Good news is Maxwell Cornet is back. He reported for duty this morning at Rush Green. He won't be full training straight away. He'll probably be in the gym, but at least he's back from Paris. Obviously, we had Skamaka and Cresswell and Areola back. Paquetá is supposed to be training this week. I don't think he trained today, but he is due to start training maybe tomorrow or the next day, so he could be ready for Forest. And the really good news is Zuma has had his boot removed, and he should be training. I say should in the next week. Even a chance he could be. He won't play at the weekend, but he could be training by Friday or so. Next week at the latest, he's going to resume training. I don't know. Obviously, he's going to have to get up to match fitness, but that leaves us with a potentially full squad that Moyes won't use.
It's like, do you think there's a chance they're starting at the weekend?
No,
Did you see
never.
that clip
I don't
where he
think
says,
so, no.
I brought Ings in to get goals? And he's like, just
Play
play
He's
him,
not going to
play
get
him.
it from there, is he?
But it ain't that. I mean, we don't really cover it. It don't even play a way that enables Ings.
No.
So has he had a shot?
Don't know.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ings at Burnley, when he made a name for himself, I believe he did it with Ashley Barnes next to him.
Yeah.
There was two of them. And at Liverpool, he was with another striker who was in that injuries. Southampton, they were forward thinking. You know, he's the right player at the wrong time at West Ham because.
Let's hope. No, I won't say that. I was going to say let's hope Antonio gets injured.
But how
and
can
we
you have
use
three strikers?
Yeah, I know.
And put two of them on the bench.
I know. Terrible. Anyway, moving on. Two small bits of news. Comparable club clause. Thank you, Dodsey, for taking photos. He's been my little minion taking photos of the price of beer at Spurs, £5.19, at Arsenal, £6.35, Delaware North again, and also at Chelsea, £5.70 for Singer beer. Because we've got rights to have beer at £5.75. And Dodsey, thank you very much. He's been my little agent. He probably didn't know. I've sent those pictures to Karen Braid today as part of the legal case. I'm being told the legal case is continuing. They will fight for the right price. We've got a contract to say comparable prices against Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs. And they're not going to give up until they get it.
Stay of it.
Look,
It's just unbelievable.
Look at can you hear the excitement in his voice?
Yeah.
When he said Karen.
Sean's building up a case for Karen.
Sean, can I just point out that Prime is £4.50 at Arsenal?
Oh, well done. Well, that's the
go.
thing. Right, moving on. And another thing, this is a personal crusade of mine, and Nigel's going to bring me up on it. But I was reading, as I do, the safety advisory board minutes that was in December, and that only came out in February. No one else reads these minutes. And I found out they're getting really hot on standing. They've already migrated and had a go a lot of people in 217, but I read that now they want to start on the lower tiers. And guess what? The three tiers they want to go on is 112, 111, 1 and 113. I'm in 112. And they want to start writing letters and getting tough, and the sports ground safety agency get involved, and Newham Council are saying the club must act and write letters, and you must show us redacted copies of the letters. All very heavy-handed, considering the rest of the Premier League are doing safe standing trials at like half the clubs, right? You know, read the papers, guys, read the room. But this is where it gets even bad, because then I read in the minutes, West Ham, outstanding item, they need to publish their supporter conduct charter. And I thought, what's that? I've never heard of that. And it said, outstanding item, you must get it published by December. So I went searching on the web on Google, and guess what? I found it. So I found it.
Oh, he found it.
And guess what it said? It said, if you stand in your seat, in front of your seat, which myself, John, everybody's been doing for years and years and years, you get a letter, right? And if you do it again, John, what you get? After standing once.
Are we playing like countdown?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, what do you
letter?
get a second? You don't get another letter. You get a
is it
free
not a
match
consonant?
ban. You
No?
get a free match ban after doing it twice. What do you think you get after 3 times, John?
Rachel Riley.
I'll go 3 times then.
You get a 12-month ban after being caught 3 times standing. What do you get after 4 times, John?
Lifetime.
A
Sean.
lifetime indefinite ban. This is ridiculous. Now, everybody behind the goals in Trevor Brooking Lower, Bobby Morlow, you can't just pick on one block and all of the what used to be Chav Corner all stand. So there must be 6,000 people that stand. This is declaring war on the people who stand, who migrated from the stadium. And guess what? Then I said, well, who knew about this? So I wrote to Hammers United on Twitter, and I wrote to your friends West Ham Trust, and I wrote to Pride of Irons and Inclusive Hammers and West Ham Supporters Club, and they didn't answer. And I thought, oh, well, there's my answer then. But then they didn't reckon they read it, and apparently they've not heard of it either, and they're going to take it up very seriously with the club.
If
We
only,
will
Sean,
not sit down.
If only we'd had a supporters group to represent us on the supporters advisory group with Newham Council and with that. If only was a group out there that publicises the fact that they do sometimes go into these meetings.
Well, the minutes say
Oh,
that there was nothing from
that would be
the
the
minutes
West Ham
say
United Supporters Trust.
there was
on their website tells us that they are our representatives on the supporters advisory group.
Well, they don't meet directly with them, but they do meet with the chair, Sheila Roberts, and it said there was no representation from the fans group. So that's a bit disappointing. I know
they've been mugged off then, haven't they?
Well, they've got 132 members compared to the 18,000.
How many of them stand up?
I wrote a story today about it. 132 members or shareholders, as they call it. I lapsed mine.
Do you know what? Didn't I tell you the other day? Couldn't you just leave that alone for a minute?
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't listen. I was writing about this story, and 18,000 for Hammers United. So it's a slight. I don't know the membership for all the other. Anyway, look, it's personal to me and 6,000 other people. We're not going to sit down, so you're going to have to ban us all. That's how I get out of West Ham, John, right? They can ban me indefinitely for standing in front of my chair, as I've done since the 80s on the South Bank. There you go. You know where I am. Ban me. Anyway, where is everybody? Have they gone? The boys are back. Sorry, I don't know what happened there, but they're
Your
back.
internet shit. That's what happened.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. It's got to be clean feed. Anyway, that's my rant over. You know where I am. You know my seat number. If you want to ban me for life, let's do predictions before we finish this episode.
It's gonna just like if we get relegated, for instance,
yeah,
and then Sullivan just doesn't make it through to whatever, or he decides to leave. Well, what a state he's left this club in, wouldn't it? Yeah, ground with most expensive beer in the country, nowhere you can stand.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the council not understand and really.
Well, that's all part of not owning owning your own ground.
I mean, are they really going to ban all of the away fans and stop it? The one ground in the whole of the Premier League. They're really going to get everyone to sit down and ban thousands of people. But social cleansing
does go back to fan representation on certain organisations and people who ain't got a fucking clue.
Well, I have a funny feeling that they didn't know about it until I wrote my story, Nigel, if I'm honest with you.
I don't think they did. But some of them you can be excused. But the trust, who
they should be reading the minutes. Yeah,
who big up the fact that they're the fans' voice on the supporters advisory group. There's probably more members in Pride of Irons than there is in the supporters trust, and I can quite believe that. So
they do say they want to drive. So anyway, let's do predictions and we'll move on to question time, and we're leaving John. John, you can start. Forest at home. Do you want a ticket? I can get you a ticket, John, if you want to come.
Draw 0-0.
Do you want to come?
Don't know. Hold on. Yeah, maybe.
Come on, John. 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
All right. Well,
delightful, John. Come on, come. Make a day of it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Len?
I think we lose 1-0.
Oh. Shedman?
No, I actually do think when the chips are down, we'll be all right. We'll win this.
What?
2-1.
2-1. and obviously I have to go for a 1-0 win because that's what I do. And Moyes will be saved for another day. I've been
Great.
Sean, Len's been,
Depressed.
John's been.
Glad to chat with you, Sean, and have it out.
Good. And Nigel has been.
Waiting for the day.
Come on, you irons.
Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast. Bobby Moore, more than just a podcast.